Hello and welcome to another video. It's OT19, Ultimate Gamer 19,000. I'm here today to present to you all 5 feats that will forever change how you make D&D characters with the new D&D 2024 rulings. Yeah, before this video starts, I just want to make it abundantly clear, in no way has Wizards of the Coast ever reached out to me. They have not given me money. The way I got all this information was by watching early release videos, early access videos that other creators that have been given early stuff from Wizards I got it. So I'm not being paid by Wizards. So just want to make that clear. I know some people really care for that and really find it very important that their creators aren't sponsored by Wizards because they're a pretty shady company. I'm in some cases, so just know that I'm not doing that. So yeah, let's just continue this video. Before this video starts, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more D&D 2024 builds, early access content that I've kind of gathered from many other videos. Because again, I'm not sponsored by Wizards. I don't have early access to books. I'm just basically taking everything I see from early access and giving it to me. Some of the creators I did take stuff from was like the Dungeon Dudes, Kobe D&D, D&D D4 Deep Dive, Tree Amongst Temples. They've released multiple videos on like early access stuff, so I kind of been taking some of these things you see here. So shout out to those channels. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first feat is Poisoner. Now, up front, Poisoner really hasn't gotten much of a change, but the changes that they get are pretty good in my personal opinion. As you can see here, it now is a +1 feat, and according to the Dungeon Dudes, I'm pretty sure, they said that every feat is now gives you at least a ability score improvement. Every single feat can always give you at least a +1 to one or more stat, which is pretty damn nice. I mean, now it genuinely makes it where taking feats is a lot less taxing. And if you're a fighter, by level 8, you could have taken 3 feats and got a 20 strength, assuming you're using the standard array and no rolled stats or enhanced point by or any of that stuff. So yeah, in general, it makes getting feats a lot nicer. So some feats that you normally never take because they're pretty useless actually have gotten really more useful to take, and such was one as the Poisoner. Now, the Poisoner in most scenarios, except for two, is exactly the same feat. I mean, it takes 50 gold to make some doses of poison, and if they fail a Constitution saving throw, they take 2d8 poison damage and have the poison condition until the end of your next turn. This is the same as the one found in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. But the thing is, this had a set DC of 14 Constitution. This one can follow whatever, if well, it can either follow your dexterity or intelligence, because when you take this feat you can get a +1 to dexterity or intelligence, so whichever +1 you took, that's basically your DC for your poison. And this actually works pretty well with the new rogues, especially with 2-weapon fighting just being pretty much better. Because now if we look here, Cunning Strikes for sure. Thanks to I think it's the official D&D channel, because I also got some of this information from D&D Beyond and stuff like that. So I think the in D&D Beyond, the page about the rogue did go over the Cunning Strikes you got at 5th level, and one of them is Poison. And if you look at my rogue thoughts and opinions video, you can see that I thought using your Cunning Strike for Poison probably is going to be the best thing you can do with your sneak attack. The poison condition is pretty paralyzing for most monsters. Having disadvantage on every attack roll you make, and yeah, it's disadvantage on every attack roll they make, is very powerful. Plus some other benefits that aren't on the top of my head right now. So overall, being able to poison a target semi-reliably is pretty damn nice. And also, your DC for both will be the same, meaning that you can use your Cunning Strikes for something other than poison if you take the Poisoner's feat. And you can now get an 18 dexterity if you take this feat. And looking at all the other feats, there are some feats that rogues may want to get, but in general, I think Poisoner is actually going to be a pretty nice one for most rogues to get, since it provides a decent damage amp and also makes their sneak attack hit harder, but they don't really have to worry about losing sneak attack damage to land a poison. And yeah, it is 50 gold, and it does take 1 hour of work to make it. And also, you do need a Poisoner's Kit, but if you are an Assassin Rogue, you get Poisoner's Kit for free when you level up. when you reach level 3, and by level 3 is one level before you can even have access to feats. So overall, I feel like getting the Poisoner's feat on a rogue is actually pretty nice, and in some cases, scenarios, it might actually be better to use Poisoner than your Cunning Strikes for poison. So yeah, overall, I think Poisoner genuinely can find itself in many rogue builds from now on, and I probably will make a rogue build that does use Poisoner because it's genuinely a good feat now, in my personal opinion. The next is Weapon Master. Now, originally, Weapon Master gave you +1 to Strength for Dexterity, and you gain proficiency with 4 weapons. Yeah, it was pretty basic, pretty bad. But now Weapon Master gives you access to weapon masteries. The exact reading is you gain a +1 to Strength for Dexterity, which is nice. And if you are proficient with a weapon, you can now access its weapon mastery property, which for certain classes that don't get access to weapon masteries for a pretty apparent reason is very good. And also the fact is, if you can get a monk that has a 17 dexterity, if you take weapon master, you can get an 18 dexterity and a free attack thanks to the Vex weapon mastery. Now I will pull it up here, but just on top of my head, when you attack, the Vex basically is two weapon fighting, but made a lot better. It allows you to get that you would normally be a bonus action. Oh, it's not Vex, it's Nick. It normally allows you to what originally would be a bonus action attack with a second weapon that you're wielding in your offhand to now be a part of your attack action, which allows a class like the monk to get up to 6 attacks in one turn when they reach level 10, and all those attacks are like really high. Overall, many, and I feel like almost all monk builds should take Weapon Master and pick up the and the Nick property on the short swords or scimitars or daggers. Because with monks, you can just be wielding 2 daggers if you want, as long as it has the light property. So yeah, overall, it's actually really damn nice because now with Weapon Master, the monk just kind of becomes a monster, which is very, very nice overall. Just one feat can the weapon master feat is basically like great weapon master for monks now, which I overall just love because it just adds so much damage possibility to your monk round after round. And next, now these two other feats I've kind of been, propelling them, saying they got massive buffs, are so nice, they can make characters so much stronger. But the next couple feats, except for one, got some pretty bad treatment, and this is where I'm going to be pretty critical of Wizards of the Coast. Great Weapon Master, plain out, got nerfed. Now, the first line, if you kill a creature, land a crit, kill a creature, land a crit, you can make a melee weapon attack as a bonus action. That is still a part of the feat. You can still do that, which is pretty nice. But now, instead of being able to take a -5 penalty for a +10 to damage, once per turn, you can add your proficiency bonus to damage. Yeah, it isn't. It's pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. Great, and now yes, Great Weapon Master is a half feat, allowing you to get a +1 to strength. But overall, it's not. It's a damage buff, and if you're making a great weapon, if you're doing a paladin that wields 2 swords, great sword, I mean, or a barbarian that also wields great sword or great axe, whatever, anything that has the heavy property, you probably should still take great weapon master, especially since it's a +1 fee, so you'll be able to get a 17 to an 18, blah blah blah. Like we already all know that. But overall, it's been pretty heavily nerfed. I mean, losing that extra damage. Yes, you will be hitting more often, but on average, it will. I don't think the damage really scales up, and it gets even worse when you realize that paladins have been fully gutted. Which I will be making a video on how paladins have been fully betrayed by Wizards of the Coast, and the whole class's identity has been thrown in the mud basically throughout the whole playtesting material. So Great Weapon Master got a pretty big nerf that really just makes martial characters even worse. Sharpshooter, on the other hand, got fully and utterly gutted. Sharpshooter is now a pretty useless feat in my personal opinion. If you're making a ranged character, you probably shouldn't even take Sharpshooter because it's pretty damn bad. I mean, attacking on longer ranges doesn't impose disadvantage on your range attack rolls. That still stays. Your ranged weapon attacks ignores half and three-quarters cover. That stays. And you also now gain a +1 to dexterity, which is nice, a +1 ASI. And when you shoot someone at close distance, it doesn't impose disadvantage. But you lose your -5 penalty to attack rolls to gain a +10 to hit, a +10 to damage. Meaning, Sharpshooter has lost all damage increases it once had. So yeah, Sharpshooter's pretty damn useless now. It's one of those feats that's kind of like Chef. In certain scenarios it can be really useful. Well no, Chef is better in my opinion. In scenarios it can be useful, but in general, it's not really good. I mean, attacking on long range doesn't impose disadvantages. Nice. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh, it's bad. But again, because the thing is, there are downsides to attacking 300 feet away from everyone with your longbow. It's just they're not as apparent. But overall, sharpshooter. The thing with Great Whipmaster, at least you still get 8 damage buff. Like, yes, it's +2, +3, a +6 at level 17, which is insane. But with Sharpshooter, you just gain nothing. You gain one tiny feature that is can be used decently often. Yeah, it's just kind of bad. I mean, there's no real way to put it. And I think now that most classes can have 2 weapon masteries active at a time, if you're at close range with a person, it's not even worth shooting your bow. It's worth to just take out your 2 scimitars and just use your the Vex property, not Nick, and just start going crazy on them. So overall, range combat has been heavily nerfed, and in my opinion, as a level 1 feat, as a level 4 feat, my bad, it's probably just better to take Poisoner. Because Poisoner, yeah, it can be decently expensive, but you can still get a good amount of damage and a debilitating condition if it succeeds. So, eh, Sharpshooter is just one of those feats that has been overly nerfed and now made pretty useless, in my personal opinion. It has its useless. It has its uses. It's still a +1 to dexterity, but I don't know if I'm ever going to be recommend taking it because there are probably other feats I gave a +1 to dexterity that are just genuinely better than Sharpshooter, in my personal opinion. But the next feat actually got a significant buff, in my opinion. Mage Slayer. If you didn't know, basically when a creature was to cast a spell within 5 feet of you, you can make a melee weapon attack against the spell. When you damage a creature that is concentrating on the spell, the creature has disadvantage on saving throws to make it, and you have advantage on saving throws against spells cast by a creature within 5 feet of you. These first 2 parts were pretty situationally good. This part was pretty bad. Most of the times this never happened. But now the new Mage Slayer basically gives you a legendary resistance, which is really nice. I mean, first of all, it gives you a +1 to strength for dexterity, which is overall pretty good. Better, and also, if a creature is concentrating on a spell when you hit him with an attack, this is when you damage a creature, so you can be 300 feet away taking bow shots at them, or not 300 feet, like 120, taking bow shots at them, they have disadvantage on the saving throw to maintain concentration. And now, a lot of spells have gained concentration, meaning that this is actually going to catch a lot more use. And also, if you look at the second feature, it is straight up just a legendary resistance. If you were to fail an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw, you can cause yourself to succeed instead. And this comes back on a short rest, which is insane. Meaning, once per short rest, you have a legendary resistance. This feat is so good. I mean, I cannot, like, I think Mage Slayer might be a top 10 feat to take in the game. Genuinely, I think every single, like, if you have a barbarian that's low wisdom, or low charisma, if you have a character that's low wisdom, you should take Mage Slayer. Like I'm not saying like, oh, it's an option. No, you should take Mage Slayer because genuinely having a free legendary resistance is beyond bonkers. And now the wording here says it's if you just fail a Wisdom, Charisma, or saving throw. Now I'm assuming that this. Well, no. Okay. Now, I mean, I think that's may how it be in the final book, because this just there's no way because this has the only reason I'm doubting this wording, even though I got it from like official sources, was because this is just way too strong. A legendary resistance that's once per short rest is very powerful, and I don't see many people talking about it. Yeah, it's not a free, but when's the last time it dexterity saving throw was potentially game ending? So yeah, just overall, Mage Slayer has been massively buffed. So now looking at all of these feats, I think feats you should definitely look for are Poisoners and Mage Slayer. Because those two feats are actually, well, Mage Slayer definitely. I feel like a lot of people aren't looking at Mage Slayer when they really should be. Because holy hell, is it just so damn good. And especially at late game when some DCs be getting a little too damn high. At like 22 or 23. Just being able to say, oh, Mage Slayer, I succeed, boom. Because the thing is, with most spellcasting creatures, they're usually pretty weak. But the thing is, they can just full on paralyze you with hold person. So now you can say, oh, I use Mage Slayer to guard my mind from it and just go up to them and probably one turn them. Because they probably have like 90 HP when your party's like level 38. I feel like two martial characters, or just even like a couple characters would be able to burst through that in a couple seconds, a couple like in one round in my opinion, because I've seen some pretty powerful characters. And especially if you have like two monks with weapon master, who you gonna be slicing through mages. And also force cage, a very powerful spell, is now concentration. Holy weapon. No, it's not holy weapon. It's spiritual weapon is now concentration. So, and a bunch of other spells are now concentration that never were. Meaning that, yeah, Mage Slayer in general got a pretty substantial buff and definitely is a must have for most characters. But yeah, that's kind of today's video. It's a little of a shorter one for me. It's only 17 minutes long. But yeah, next video, which I probably will post on Saturday, the day I'm recording this, because I'm just genuinely so excited to make new content, is gonna be about the Paladin. It's gonna be a rant video. I'm gonna get a little angry because, oh, they've nerfed my beloved. But yeah, yeah, that's OT19. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this and want more coverage of the 2024 Player's Handbook. So yeah, OT19, signing go. Peace!